There's a kind of silence the world doesn't prepare you for. It's not the peaceful kind that comes at dawn or in the woods. It's the silence after the collapse, when your work, your voice, your name, your identity vanishes in the noise of an algorithm or the indifference of a system that never really saw you. When your channel disappears. When the audience goes silent. When your message gets erased. You are left standing in a quiet that's too loud to ignore. And in that moment, it's easy to ask, what was it all for? But let me remind you of something eternal. You may be alone. But you are not broken. Every man who walks the road of greatness must first be buried beneath it. You built something with your hands, with your time, with your soul. You stayed up late, you worked when no one watched, and you gave yourself to a mission. And then, without warning, it was stripped from you. That hurts. It should hurt. Because it meant something. But that pain is not a weakness. It is proof that you cared. It is proof that you tried. And above all, it is proof that you belong to the few who step into the fire willingly. And when the fire takes something from you, you don't run. You stand in the ash, you inhale the smoke, and you rise. Because this world can delete your account, shadow ban your message, ignore your growth, and pull the rug from beneath your feet. But what it cannot do is break a man who has chosen solitude over desperation, clarity over noise, and principle over popularity. When you're left alone, you see who you really are. No likes. No views. No followers. Just you. In the modern world, solitude is feared. Because when the noise fades, when there's no audience to perform for, most people collapse into themselves. But not you. Not the man on the Stoic path. Because solitude is your forge, not your prison. It is in solitude that your mission becomes pure. It is in solitude that you meet your higher self. And it is in solitude that you remember. You never did this for approval. You never did this to be liked. You did this to speak truth, and truth doesn't beg for applause. So if silence is all the world gives you, use that silence to sharpen your voice. You are alone, but not broken. They took the platform, not the purpose. They deleted the content, not the character. They silenced the output, not the spirit. A weak man sees a setback and sits down. A strong man sees a setback and builds again, with more precision. So now you rebuild. Not as a beginner, but as a warrior with scars. This time, you don't just build a channel, you build a fortress. A voice that no system can erase. A mission that goes beyond metrics. A presence that exists not just on screens, but in hearts, in minds, in real impact. This is your second beginning. But unlike the first, you now know what works, what matters, and what can never be trusted again. The world expects the broken man to scream, to rant, to lash out. But the Stoic man, he does none of that. He smiles. He sharpens his blade. And he moves in silence. The true revenge isn't to get angry. It's to become untouchable. Every deletion, every rejection, every silence you receive, that is not your death. That is your invitation to dominate the space you still have. To create work so true, so powerful, and so necessary, that not even a takedown can erase your influence. And when they realize they tried to silence the wrong soul, it will be too late. Because by then, you'll be too far ahead. Too strong to cancel. Too grounded to shake. That is the Stoic's way. You are not for everyone. Your message might be too raw. Your tone might be too firm. Your truth might be too sharp. Good. Let it be. If the price of keeping your soul is walking alone, pay it. Let the crowds chase attention. Let the masses chase trends. You chase clarity. You chase depth. You chase a version of yourself that can look in the mirror with pride. Because when this life ends, and the curtain falls, the only person you'll have to answer to is the one you became. So become him now. Build without permission. Understand this. No one will give you permission to be great. You won't get a green light. You won't get a perfect setup. You won't get applause for every step. You must move anyway. You must build anyway. And you must rise anyway. That's what makes this beautiful. It's not easy. It's not fair. But it's real. And if you're willing to bleed for it, to sweat for it, to get knocked down and stand up anyway, then you are already more free than most. You don't need permission to rebuild. You need conviction. The pain you feel, don't numb it. Let it sharpen you. Let it drive you. Let it become the fuel that pushes you into a season of pure, unapologetic creation. Say what needs to be said. Build what needs to be built. Share what needs to be shared. But this time, do it with the fire of a man who knows what loss tastes like, and refuses to taste it again without a fight. Pain is not the enemy. Wasted pain is. And you're too powerful to waste it. Let them think you're gone. Let them think you're silent. Let them think you've given up. Because while they scroll, while they chase clout, while they look for the next trend to copy, you're in the shadows, doing the real work. You're rebuilding, stronger, wiser, and more dangerous. You're coming back, not as a beginner, but as a storm. So repeat these words like a prayer, like a war cry, like a promise. I am alone, but not broken. I am quiet, but not defeated. I am down, but not done. The fire still burns. The mission still lives. And the world has not seen the last of you. To anyone out there who's been silenced, who lost their work, who feels like the system erased them, I see you. You're not weak. You're not forgotten. And you're not alone in your silence. This is your call to arms. To rise from the digital ashes and become what they couldn't handle. A man of depth, a man of clarity, a man of unshakable mission. Because at the end of the day, you may be alone, but you are not broken. And that makes you unstoppable.